The Roman Empire is gone. The language is dead.
Futuete. Eluiste porronil tenent.
The legions are dust. But right now, under your feet, somewhere in Europe, a Roman road is still holding weight. Not restored, not rebuilt. Original. And here's what nobody tells you. The man who ordered the first great road built wasn't an emperor. He wasn't even popular. He was a political outcast who got handed a death sentence and turned it into the most important infrastructure project in human history. This is how Roman dictators built roads from nothing, and accidentally created a system that still moves the modern world. Segment 1, the political problem. Rome in 312 BC had a serious problem. Not enemies. Rome always had enemies. The problem was internal. The aristocracy controlled everything. Land, votes, religious law, road access. If you weren't born into the right family, you couldn't get goods to market, couldn't move armies efficiently, couldn't project power beyond the city. Enter Appius Claudius Caecus, censor, patrician, and by Roman standards, absolutely unhinged. He was supposed to manage public works and the census, a bureaucratic job, mostly ceremonial. Instead, he started making decisions that horrified the Senate. He enrolled poor citizens into voting tribes. He appointed the sons of freed slaves to public positions. He was rewriting the social order, and Rome's elite class despised him for it. So they did what aristocracies always do. They waited for his term to end, expecting him to disappear quietly. He didn't. Instead, with his term expiring, his enemies sharpening knives, and his political career supposedly finished, Appius Claudius announced he was going to build a road. Not a path, not a cart track. A 132-mile engineered highway straight through hostile territory from Rome to Capua. His enemies laughed. The Senate refused to fund it properly, and here's the part that should make you lean forward. He built it anyway. The question is how? Because what Appius Claudius figured out wasn't just engineering. It was a system of control so effective that Rome used it to conquer half the known world. The actual construction method is where this gets genuinely strange. Segment 2. The engineering nobody expected. Most people picture Roman road building as simple. Slaves laying flat stones. That's not what happened. The Roman roads were built in layers, 4 distinct layers. And understanding why reveals something about Roman psychology that explains the entire empire. The first layer was the statumen. Large stones packed into the earth as a foundation base, sometimes going down 3 feet, not to support the road surface, to drain it. Romans understood that roads don't fail from weight above, they fail from water below. Freeze, thaw, erosion. Everything that makes a road crack starts underground. On top of that went the rudis, broken rubble and concrete mixed together. Roman concrete, incidentally, is stronger today than when it was poured. Modern engineers are still reverse engineering the formula. The secret involves volcanic ash called pozzolana that reacts with seawater and gets harder over centuries instead of weaker. We only fully understood the chemistry in 2017. Then the nucleus, fine gravel and concrete, leveled precisely. Roman surveyors used an instrument called a groma, a cross-shaped device with hanging weights, to establish perfectly straight lines across terrain. They didn't go around hills. They didn't curve with rivers. They cut through. Straight lines were a political statement. Nature bends to Rome, not the other way. The final surface layer in the semicrusta was tight-fitted polygonal basalt stones. Volcanic rock, brutally hard, interlocked without mortar. Many still exist intact, and here's the detail that stops engineers cold. The road surface was slightly crowned, higher in the center so rainwater automatically drained to the sides into purpose-built channels. This 4-layer system was designed to last forever, and it very nearly did. But there's something nobody talks about, the human system underneath the engineering. Because stones don't lay themselves, and Appius Claudius didn't have a willing workforce, what he built to move the workers is arguably more important than the road itself. Segment 3, the logistics machine. To build 132 miles of road through the Pontine marshes and the Apennine foothills, Appius needed to solve 3 problems simultaneously: labor, materials, and food supply for thousands of workers in hostile terrain. His solution was brutal in its efficiency. Labor came from the legions. Roman soldiers were required to build out what it was part of military service. Each legion of roughly 5,000 men was assigned a section of road. They were responsible for surveying, excavating, sourcing local materials, and finishing the surface. If a section failed and the cracked, subsided, flooded, the legion responsible returned to fix it. No excuses, no appeals. Their reputation was literally cemented into the ground. This created something remarkable: competition. Legions started building faster and better than required because road quality became a point of military pride. Archaeological measurements of surviving Via Appia sections show construction precision variations of less than an inch over 100-foot stretches, done by soldiers under field conditions 2,000 years ago. Material sourcing was handled by a system of mandatory civic contribution. Towns near the road route were required to supply stone quarrying labor. This wasn't optional, and it wasn't charity. Rome recorded every contribution. Communities that supplied well-received better road positioning, meaning better trade access. Communities that resisted found the road routed away from them. The economic punishment was immediate and lasting. Food supply was solved by the road itself, building forward supply depots every 15 to 20 miles. These became towns. Many still exist. The construction project was simultaneously a colonization project, staking Roman economic presence along every mile of new road. And now we've reached the part of this story that changes how you understand everything that came after. Because Appius Claudius wasn't just building a road to Capua, he was building a prototype. And when Rome's enemies finally understood what the road network actually was, it was already too late. Segment 4, the military weapon hiding in plain sight. A Roman legion could march 20 miles per day on open road, on unpaved terrain, through forests and mountains that dropped to 8 or 10. That difference, 10 miles per day, sounds minor until you're a general watching a Roman army appear at your walls 2 days earlier than you thought geometrically possible. Hannibal almost beat Rome. He crossed the Alps with war elephants, destroyed Roman armies at Trebia, Lake Trasimene, and Cannae. He killed somewhere between 50,000 and 70,000 Roman soldiers in roughly 2 years. By any measure, Rome should have collapsed. It didn't. Partly because of strategy, mostly because of roads. While Hannibal moved through Italian countryside unable to take fortified cities, Rome used its road network to shuttle reinforcements, reroute supply lines, and prevent regional allies from defecting. Roman armies could concentrate faster than Hannibal could maneuver. The road network turned Italy into a single military organism with Rome as the central nervous system. Later, during Rome's imperial expansion, roads compressed distance so effectively that a message sent from Rome could reach Britain in roughly 4 to 5 days, using the cursus publicus, the official courier relay system with fresh horses stationed every 10 miles. That's a communication speed that wouldn't be matched in Europe until the telegraph in the 1800s. The roads didn't just move armies, they moved law, taxation, language, and culture at unprecedented speed. Every road was a Roman invasion that never ended. And Appius Claudius? The political outcast who couldn't get Senate funding? The road was named after him. The Via Appia. Still visible from satellite today. Still walkable. And here's the final thing. The one detail that closes the loop on everything we've covered. The payoff. Appius Claudius went blind in his later years. Late in his life, he was carried to the Senate on a litter to deliver a speech against surrendering to Pyrrhus of Epirus, a general who had just defeated Rome twice. The old senators argued Rome had lost too many men. That peace was necessary. Appius Claudius argued that a Rome that surrendered after building what they had built wasn't Rome anymore. His speech reportedly turned the vote. Rome refused peace, kept fighting, eventually won. The man who built the foundation of Rome's power couldn't see any of it by the end. But 2,300 years later, every GPS route, every logistics network, every highway system in the Western world follows principles he proved in stone. He didn't just build a road, he built the blueprint for how power moves.